welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's late Friday afternoon video is going to be a wee reflection on Celtic's Europa League draw. Did we live stream live for the draw at 12 noon this afternoon. Quite a lot of you joined me, which was great. Quite a lot of you made some very interesting comments and points and opinions, which was great fun. And just had a wee bit of time just to sit down, just have a look at who we've got coming up. We should find out tomorrow morning or later on Saturday just what order those 8 games are going to be. But they need to balance things up in terms of homes and aways, and also not having too many teams from the same city or country all playing at the same time. And so they tend to alternate 2 clubs from the same city, like Celtic and Rangers in this example, with one being at home and one being away. So quite a lot of working out with all those different fixtures. So we should find out tomorrow what the order is, who we get first, and what order. Other thing to do is update on a couple of possible transfers in and a couple possible transfers out. Plus one definitely confirmed and one that should get confirmed later on today. That's the loan deal for Marcelo Saracchi, the Uruguayan left back. And in this video, we're also going to have a wee bit of a closer look at the stats and for Kasper Dolberg of Anderlecht, who is rumoured to be coming to Celtic, although there are quite a lot of different contrasting stories as to where that transfer is lying. So first thing to do is just have a wee look at the Europa League draw that was done live at 12 noon till 1 o'clock this afternoon across in France. Celtic have from pot 1 AS Roma at home, Feyenoord from pot 1 away. Then we've got Braga at home, Red Star Belgrade away. We've got Sturm Graz of Austria at home and Midtjylland of Denmark away from home. Utrecht from Holland at home and Bologna from Italy away from home. So looking at those 8 different teams, I think we were did okay out of pot 1, did okay out of pot 2, did okay out of pot 3, did okay out of pot 4. I think there were stronger teams in each of those pots, and there were some weaker teams in those pots. But I think we have got a draw where we potentially can get, I would say, 3 home wins and 1 draw, so 10 points from our home games, and at least a couple of draws and away win in the away fixtures. So I think certainly we can get 12 points from those fixtures quite comfortably if we play to our best form, and 12 points would comfortably get us into the knockout phase. Last season, 8th place needed 14 points, 24th place needed 10 points. So I think 12 points from our 8 fixtures should comfortably get us into the knockout phase, probably in the 9 to 24 level, probably on the borderline of being one of the seeded teams for that knockout phase, which does give an advantage in terms of a home leg second time around, which was one of the factors in us not going through against Bayern Munich, I think, last season, because they were the higher seed just about at that phase. There are some different theories as to which order of those fixtures would be best. It'd be really good if we could start with a nice morale-boosting, comfortable home win, like we did against Slovan Bratislava last time, and then maybe one of the draws, the away games where we're got a chance of winning or drawing to get us off to a nice start, and maybe having teams like Bologna or Feyenoord towards the end when they may well be qualified. Anyway, it'd be great to see what you feel yourselves regarding what Celtic's prospects are. I think the key thing for this would be Celtic have to play to the sort of form that they did last season in the Champions League. Some good, strong home wins, like against Slovan Bratislava and Leipzig. Some battling wins, like we did against Young Boys Bern, and a few battling draws, like we did against Zagreb and Bruges and Atalanta. So I think the chances are there for Celtic to do well, but they do need to play well, and we also need some certainty over who's going to be leading the front line. Now, woke up to a lot of stories saying that Idah had been, in essence, transferred to Swansea, that he'd had his medical and he was down in Swansea for signing his contract, etc. However, in the Friday afternoon press conference, Brendan Rodgers categorically said that Idah and Yang won't be leaving the club until replacements are brought in. And so it looks like Idah has not been down to Swansea for a medical and has not had any signing talks, etc., down in Swansea. And I did get the feeling from Brendan Rodgers' press conference that possibly Adam Idah's knee was causing him some bother after the long trip to and from Almaty in Kazakhstan, and that he maybe had a bit of a flare-up of his knee, although he didn't say anybody new was injured in his wee summary, although he did say that Anthony Ralston hadn't trained on Friday, but was expected to train on Saturday and be available for the game on Sunday against Rangers. It would appear that Birmingham are considering a 1.5 million offer for Yang, and again, Rodgers suggesting that Yang won't be leaving the club unless a replacement for him is directly brought in. And he did also suggest that he's looking for a couple of strikers to come in if Idah does leave. On that front, Celtic are said to have lodged an £8 million bid for Kasper Dolberg, the Danish international. Kasper Dolberg is 27-year-old Danish international, 6'2", 55 caps for Denmark with 12 goals. Earlier on, he was rated at €13 million, about £11 million. Anderlecht are thought to have brought their asking price down to maybe £8 million. And it's thought, as I said, that Celtic have offered that £8 million fee. One of the factors that some folk are saying might be holding up the deal is that Kasper Dolberg is on £34,000 a week at Anderlecht, and one or two stories are suggesting that it's the personal terms that's holding things up rather than Anderlecht wanting more than £8 million for him. Some other stories are suggesting that Anderlecht actually want £10 million for him. Another story is suggesting that Anderlecht are not willing to sell Kasper Dolberg at any price at the moment, but would sell his Argentinian strike partner Vasquez, who looks similar in many ways to Kasper Dolberg, in that he's a tall, fast striker, although a wee bit younger and not quite so prolific as Kasper Dolberg. Just coming back to Kasper Dolberg, he's got the best part of 2 years left on his contract, running through to end of June 2027. He's got a pretty impressive career. He's played for Ajax, Nice, and Anderlecht, as well as Sevilla, Hoffenheim, and Silkeborg. So far this season, 5 goals for Anderlecht in 8 games. Over his Anderlecht career, 95 games, 44 goals, so pretty much 1 goal every 2 games. And Ajax, 45 goals in 119 games. Nice, 24 games, 85 goals. And over his whole career at all those different clubs, 346 games, 123 goals, and 32 assists. And I think certainly if Celtic were able to sign Kasper Dolberg, it would be a good, high-quality striker, lots of experience, scored internationally, scored in various different leagues, scored at the highest level, scored lots of goals in European competitions as well. And I think that could be a very good signing for Celtic. And I think he would be a distinct upgrade on Adam Idah. I think he very much would go in to be the designated number one striker at Celtic, backed up, I would guess, by Shin Yamada as the number two, Johnny Kenny 3, and Callum Osmond as 4. And obviously we've also got the versatility of players like Nigrin and Maeda and Balikwisha, all of whom are able to step in to be a primary striker or a secondary striker, as well as their other roles. Definitely coming into the club is Mikael Onge Balikwisha. He signed last night for Celtic. There are strong stories that he might be in the Celtic squad, or even the Celtic starting lineup for the game against Rangers on Sunday. I will be doing a separate video regarding my predictions and scores and lineups, etc., for the Rangers match on Sunday. I will be doing that video sometime on Saturday morning. Another player linked to Celtic and said that Celtic have put in a couple of bids for him is a young player called Sebastian Tounekti, plays for Hammarby in Sweden. He's a left winger primarily. He is a Tunisian origin player but born in Norway, 23 years old, 2 international caps for Tunisia. One of the factors with Tounekti is his contract with Hammarby runs to the 31st of December 2029, and so it looks like Hammarby are making a massive investment in him, and they've given him, in essence, a 5-year contract, taking him up to the end of 2029. According to the transfer market valuation sites, his value is £1 million. It's thought that Celtic have offered somewhere now between 3 and 4 million for him. However, most stories are suggesting that Hammarby wants £6.25 million for him, and other sites are saying that a bid of 4.5 or 5 million is what Hammarby are looking for. Either way, it would appear that Hammarby are asking for an asking price considerably over what all the various different transfer valuation sites and transfer valuation experts are suggesting, because those experts are suggesting he's a £1 million player, yet his club is asking for £5 or even £6 million for him. And I suspect Hammarby are looking for not just a price for the player, but also a price for the potential that he has at 23. I doubt that Celtic will stump up £6 million for him, but I wouldn't be too surprised under the circumstance if Celtic did increase their bid to somewhere between 4 and 5 million, and see if Hammarby take the bid at that level. His stats over his career aren't actually that impressive. He's played for 6 different clubs over his career, some of those as loan deals. His stats, as I say, are not terribly impressive as a professional first-team player at several different clubs put together. 94 games, 8 goals and 11 assists. And at Hammarby, 26 games, 2 goals and 5 assists. So those kind of outputs of goals and assists not really striking me with an awful lot of confidence regarding the player. I haven't actually been able to get any good reliable footage of Sebastian Tounekti as yet. So if anybody has seen him playing on TV or in highlight clips, etc., please do pop that into the comment section, and then we can all learn a wee bit from your expertise and inside knowledge of the player. Interestingly, in the video footage of training this morning at Lennoxtown, the Argentinian left-back Marcelo Saracchi was seen training with the other players, although at this moment the loan deal hasn't been finalised. In his press conference earlier this afternoon on Friday, Brendan Rodgers was kind of implying that the signing and all the paperwork for Marcelo Saracchi coming to Celtic for a season-long loan should be finalised on Friday evening, and so I wouldn't be too surprised if very soon on Friday evening, that's announced, or possibly on Saturday morning, given the fact that Celtic will be in for training on Saturday as well. Certainly having Marcello Saracchi as an experienced left-back does give good quality backup for Kieran Tierney. I personally would like to see Hayato Inamura also stay at the club. I think he's going to learn far more understudying Saracchi and Tierney rather than moving away on loan to play for Falkirk or St Mirren or Livingston, because at any of those other clubs he's going to be learning a very different system from the one that he would be expected to be playing under next year and onwards as part of his Celtic career. However, Rodgers does seem very, very dead set on letting Inamura go away on loan. And if he does go away on loan, I think it has to be to the right club, a club where he can flourish in the role that he would be playing at Celtic, rather than being stuck in a team where outright defence is the main tactic. I don't think that's actually going to help Inamura flourish as a Celtic player. However, so should be fully announced that Saracchi is at Celtic on a 1-year loan deal, and that should be fully announced this evening or tomorrow morning. Contrasting stories, as I said, regarding Dolberg coming to Celtic from Anderlecht. A lot of stories, and a couple of hours ago were very, very positive. Over the last hour or so, the stories have got a wee bit more negative. But I think over the weekend, we'll see that all finalised, and we'll find out whether there is a real deal between Celtic and Anderlecht for Dolberg rather, and also whether Dolberg is happy to come to Celtic and happy to accept the wage structure, etc. at Celtic. So I suspect that deal, if it is going to go through, probably is going to be announced on Monday rather than any earlier, as I think there's a bit of negotiation behind the scenes between the two clubs and between the club and Dolberg and his agent. Of course, having said all that, it could well be by the time this video is uploaded that things have moved on, things have become much more positive or much more negative, so apologies. Everything was pretty much accurate as of 6:30, 7 o'clock on Friday evening. That, I think, just about finishes things off for this wee Friday evening update. As I said, I will be doing a Rangers preview match video on Saturday morning, so do look out for that instead. If you are new to the channel and not yet subscribed, please do click that subscriber button. New subscribers always welcome. Does make me so happy when the subscriber numbers go up by 1 or 2 in a day. And as always, do feel free to pop your own thoughts and comments into the comment section. Please keep things pleasant, polite, respectful if you can. Please keep the language clean and family friendly, as I do love sharing opinions, as was apparent from the Friday early afternoon live stream for the Europa League draw, and I am planning, now that the IT seems to be working much more reliably, to do another live stream on Thursday evening. And so until the next video, goodbye and hail, hail.